partly cloudy skies throughout the day with a high of 46 degrees. A slight chance of snow showers overnight tonight with a low down to 32. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, high 46. For your Sunday, a chance of showers and a high of 46 degrees. And then on Monday, mostly cloudy, high of 41 degrees. That is a look at the news for now. I'm Frank Sparks, Beaver County Radio News, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and beavercountyradio.com.
This multimedia program is part of a balanced breakfast. You're listening to AM Beaver County on 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and 1460 WMBA. Also streaming live at beavercountyradio.com. All presented by St. Barnabas.
8:36 here on this Friday morning, December 9th. And we're now on streaming through our Facebook page and our YouTube page. Marie Timpano, the executive director of the Cornerstone of Beaver County, joins me in studio this morning. And Marie, good morning to you once again.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. It's been a while since we've spoken, and because it's been a while, there's going to be a lot of things to talk about this morning.
Sure thing.
So thinking the last time I saw you would have been at the groundbreaking?
Yes. Yeah, the wall breaking ceremony.
The wall breaking ceremony that took place. That was way back in, August or September?
Yeah, that was back in the late summer, early fall, yeah.
Yes. So, and that was the wall breaking for the men's shelter that
absolutely.
is coming through. What's the latest update on that?
So we are plugging along down there. If you've driven by our site, 697 State Street in Vanport, you will see that a lot has happened. They're getting ready. I was just down there on Wednesday. They're getting ready to lay some flooring. Painting's done, walls and everything are up. The exterior's coming around. So we'll be putting some floors in and moving along. We're still anticipating a March, probably late March opening, and we're moving along at a good speed down there. Yeah,
that is a good speed because again, the groundbreaking took place in the summertime, so to have that all done within a year is a pretty quick pace for getting something accomplished, especially when it comes to getting something built and refurbished.
Yeah, you're right. And there were, certainly some things that came along that weren't expected and some supply chain challenges, although they were managed very, very well. We're going to have to work through another winter, and that is not the best news, but we have plans for that, and we're prepared for that, and we're really looking forward to the opening of the shelter in the spring.
Yes, and we'll talk about those plans in a little bit here, but going back to the shelter itself, you talk about, some obstacles that got in the way. What are some of the ones right now that seem to be the biggest that are sort of getting in the way? And is there a way that the public can help in that regard?
So right now, no. I mean, as far as the obstacles for the physical site, there were some challenges with sewer lines and again, some supply chain. We had to wait on some things. But our Graham Construction, our construction company, working together with our architects, WTW Architects, they did a fantastic job. Ashley McLaughlin, our deputy director who facilitated the site, and Bill Brocklebank, our facilities manager, they did a fantastic job of sort of managing and navigating through some of those challenges. When you're rehabbing an older building, things pop up that you don't expect. But we're really, really committed to developing a site that is both aesthetically pleasing and really meets the needs in a productive and positive way of the guests that will take part in that and the public that will have access to programs and services out of the location as well. So with that said, I think I mentioned last time I was here with you that we were working with Action Housing. They were partners in the 2nd Avenue Commons project in the city of Pittsburgh, 2nd Avenue, which opened recently. And if you're watching the news, you're probably seeing what's happening there. Lots of challenges for the city of Pittsburgh and meeting the homeless challenge. So we took a lot of advice and direction from them, as well as Light of Life Mission and the folks at City Rescue Mission in Newcastle, to really put together sort of, to the best of our ability, a state-of-the-art facility that will serve the needs, be welcoming, and help people feel comfortable while they are guests with us.
So in a sense, the men's shelter is going to be not just a place where guys could come and, rest their head or stay out of trouble or stay out of any type of interaction with those that are possibly giving them, a time that is much harder than it needs to be. Yes. But like you say, it seems like you're talking about all other services being a part of that, or sort of run where you could call there and other stuff can happen.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So you've talked to me, you know that I'm the physical site, building the building, not the most fun part of this for me. Although it is a lovely building and it's been an interesting process, I'm most excited about the programs and services that will happen out of there. We call that effort Beyond the Bed. It was never the Cornerstones of Beaver County, our intention to sort of warehouse folks. And so we have a number of programs and services both to meet the physical, mental health, education, and job-related needs of the guests in the shelter. In addition, you know, the Cornerstone of Beaver County is well poised to serve the public and to deliver these programs and services because of what we already have in place, which are a number of programs that are rental assistance, homeless prevention, veteran services, utility assistance through our partners at Duquesne Light Cap, the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, food assistance, our partners in the healthcare industry providing some clinical support, the Community College of Beaver County not only providing support to the individuals who are in the shelter, but also providing an opportunity for community classrooms, which they've been doing around the county in area libraries. But that will be an opportunity for individuals to take part in classes from the Community College of Beaver County at our newly opened building coming this spring.
Yeah, and that too is, you know, a great point, because you talk about, you know, like you said, you don't want to warehouse these people. You want them
Absolutely
to
not.
get back on their feet. You want them to renew themselves, rehabilitate themselves. Well, and to assist them as well doing that. But at the same time, you want them to sort of be able to get back on their feet and to go back to living life the way that most of us would want to.
Absolutely. And again, you know, this is a 24-hour facility, fully staffed at all times. It's not an overnight site. I know that there have been a lot of questions about that. That is not what this is. People are not locked in, though. I want to be clear about that. It's a voluntary situation. But when the gentlemen are guests in the shelter, there will be things that they will need to do, and we will be supporting them through that, along with many of our partners, to ensure that they're getting all of their needs met and able to return to the community and contribute to the community. These are residents of our community, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, mothers, fathers, etc., that we serve through the Cornerstone of Beaver County. So we want them to get back, as they want as well, into the community, independent, so that they're not cycling through the homeless system again. That's not what any of us want.
No, it's not. And the system, just like you say, it's cyclical. It just sort of go through the same things over and over again. And this is not designed to do that.
It is not.
It's designed to break out of that and back into, you know, a normal life as one would want to live. And that is a commendable thing that you guys are doing with the Cornerstone of Beaver County, along with the men's shelter, and of course, the women's shelter as well.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to help people get back to what they want to do, and in a way that, you know, is on their time, and, you know, with your guidance and assistance, but not in a sense that's going to be, you know, dragging them to where they don't want to be.
Absolutely. And this is an opportunity to engage in a more sustainable manner with individuals who are in need. I mean, through the Cornerstone's programs and services now, folks come in, they'll get services through us or through one of the partners in the continuum of care for homeless services in Beaver County. But having a residential environment gives us that time frame, 30 to 45 days, which is what we're hoping on average to be able to house individuals. But once they are no longer guests in the shelter, they will still have access to program services and supports of the Cornerstone of Beaver County and our partners. Homelessness is an extremely complex issue. If it were as simple as sometimes, you know, I hear things said, or misunderstandings or misinformation, if it were that simple, you know, I wouldn't be here talking to you. We would have solved this issue a long time ago. It's not. It's very complex. And with that said, we intend on being a support system for the residents who come in, the individuals who come in as guests of our shelter, and for others in our community.
And it's exactly the point that, you know, you guys are doing that and making sure that, you know, like you say, it's a matter of, you know, them wanting to do what they want and to make sure that they are a part of this, and that you guys are helping them, assisting them, you know, checking on them after the fact. It's a huge thing. We're talking with Marie Timpano. She's the executive director of the Cornerstone Beaver County. And we did mention that, you know, it will be until about March that the men's shelter is going to be officially built. So the winter is coming, unfortunately.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that on the other side of this break. You're listening to AM Beaver County. It's 8:45.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. Since 1934, they've been committed to the physical and financial recovery of personal injury victims. Why choose the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George? Attorney Larry Kelly explains.
First of all, we've been AV rated by Martindale Hobble the highest rating you can get for legal ability and ethics, and that comes from our peers. We have board-certified civil trial specialist, which is like another bar exam. Would you go to a doctor who is not board-certified? Probably not. I've always said, and I tell my daughters, I have 3 daughters who are attorneys. Those in the profession know. The lawyers of LGKG have the respect of our peers, and that's all I ever cared about.
For your free initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
In Beaver County, there are many great stories to tell. One such worthy story is that of the Drug-Free Community Support Program. Now in its 4th year of serving Aliquippa, the project has enjoyed great success through in-school interaction, education, raising awareness, and data analysis. The Drug-Free Community Support Program in Aliquippa has a mission to help local youth make better decisions regarding alcohol and drug use. For more information or to find out how you can get involved, visit Drug Free Aliquippa on Facebook.
Computers and internet searches can be very helpful for discovering information, but not always when it comes to researching medical conditions and finding help. Dale Reckless from MRS Physical Therapy recently discussed this topic in a radio interview.
A lot of patients come in and they say, well, I Googled this and it didn't really help. Well, I understand, we Google things and we want to get information, but Google's not going to assess you personally. Google's going to give you an overall possibility of what could be going on with you, but you really need the eyes of the professional and the hands-on, the professional like what we have at MRS Physical Therapy to steer you in the right direction for what exercises should help you out. And then you're going to be getting the hands-on skills that we provide to help work on your soft tissue, to help relax the muscles, to help make it feel better.
If you need physical therapy for any reason, choose the place that your friends and neighbors do. MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater and Cranberry Physical Therapy in Cranberry. Visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com.
What's your favorite Christmas memory? Maybe it's a memory from your childhood or something more recent. Whatever it is, Roseland Candy Castle in New Brighton invites you to share your favorite memory and win a box of their delicious chocolates. You can share your Christmas memory on Beaver County Radio's Facebook page or on the air during Teleforum with Eddie Crow each Friday from now until December the 16th. It's all part of Roseland Candy Castle's Christmas Memories Contest right here on Beaver County Radio.
Now entering our 75th year of serving Beaver County. You're listening to 99.3 FM, 95.7 FM, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. Part of the St. Barnabas Radio Network.
It's 8:48 on this Friday morning, December 9th. We're talking with Marie Timpano. She's the executive director of the Cornerstone of Beaver County. And Marie, before the break, we sort of mentioned that we're going to talk about this, and it's an unfortunate situation that because the men's shelter will not be done until about March, I guess is the planned date, is that winter is coming, and that means it's time to figure out what exactly is going to happen. So what is the Cornerstone doing, and what are some of the other agencies that you guys work with in Beaver County doing to make sure that those who are without a home or those who are struggling to find shelter during this time of year stay warm and stay in good shape?
Certainly. So again, it's a very complex issue, and it's not the Cornerstone alone cannot solve that. It truly takes all of us. And so as part of the continuum of care of homeless services here in the county, we work with a number of organizations: Beaver County Behavioral Health, the Area Agency on Aging, Children and Youth Services, BCRC, Trails Ministries, and a number of others who refer churches in the community, individuals, the St. Vincent de Paul Society. I could go on and on and on about all of the providers and services, the Salvation Army, the Housing Authority, who are a part of these efforts to really combat housing insecurity in Beaver County. With that said, winter is coming and we do not have a men's shelter in the community. We are continuing to rely on the fantastic and tremendously compassionate and giving partners around Beaver County. So we have the City Rescue Mission in Lawrence County. Allegheny County has been very supportive of us, Light of Life and others. We've gone to Youngstown. We've gone to Steubenville. We've gone as far as Cleveland, really to house folks. Certainly our Women's Center of Beaver County is a tremendous support and a tremendous partner. But always the first thing that we're going to look to is shelter, because solving a housing issue isn't going to be resolved overnight. It's taking time. And with that said, we have to utilize existing systems to support individuals where they can be safe and well taken care of while we're working on identifying and helping folks access safe and affordable housing, more permanent solutions to that issue. But in some instances, that's not an option. If folks are working, if they have other reasons why they're not appropriate for a congregate environment, if shelters are full, certainly when COVID issues were happening and we couldn't cross county lines, that was a challenge for us. In that time, we're using what we reference as atypical shelter, but I need folks to understand that we're always going to look to that first option of congregate environments and shelter, because we can do that more long-term, that's more sustainable, while we work on the issue of permanent supportive housing for individuals. With that said, we're working with area hotels and motels. There are limited dollars right now for that, and we have to be very selective in how we do that. But that's another option that we're using, and we have some supports for that. But we're going to certainly be great. We're grateful. We continue to be grateful for our out-of-county partners who have been willing to support Beaver County residents during times when we just don't have that option in county.
It's fascinating to hear you talk about the network that you've established with these other counties, because a lot of times and obviously in Beaver County you have that too with all the great organizations that have helped you out and that you help out in return. But now that it's going to other counties, that's something we don't hear all the time, is other counties willing to work with each other. But in a case like this, where again shelter is of the utmost importance, especially during a time like year like this, that is great news to hear. But unfortunately, like you say, it's not necessarily a clear, cut and dry process. And that, like you say, some of the hotels around here may be booked, and that the funding, like you say, how does the funding get into that, and how much of a process is that to make sure that funding is secured?
Well, we work with the public. Certainly emergency housing is the priority. We can't begin to do other things, particularly in inclement weather or any time of the year, to support an individual with other challenges or other needs if they don't have a roof over their head. I mean, think of this. We're in the holidays right now. We'll talk about our end-of-year campaign, Home for the Holidays. Imagine not having a home for the holidays. I mean, how sad is that? With that said, we work with our county, the Community Development Program. Dina Cibatoni, the Continuum of Care Coordinator, works very closely with all of the Continuum of Care providers for homeless services in the county to ensure that funding is coming in. We're fundraising. Our end of the year campaign is a part of that. We are very appreciative of groups and entities who bring donations of items to us. We have some storage challenges with regard to that. Our building here in Beaver Falls, not a great opportunity to have storage. And so the public, any cash donation is very, very helpful. That gives us discretionary dollars to support individuals with emergency housing. What do they need when they're in a hotel or in a motel or even in a shelter? Transportation, food, medication, co-payments on medications and things of that nature, clothing and other supports, and other types of tangible items that aren't provided through some of our funding sources, that those discretionary dollars allow us to utilize to fill the gaps and meet the needs that can be, you think you've seen it or thought of it all. I promise you we haven't. Diapers for people who have children, formula. And there are some providers in the county who offer those services. But sometimes, we're getting calls, we're on call, we're getting calls at 3 a.m. Those types of calls that come in when other entities aren't operating. And we got to figure out, how do we meet the needs of this family or this individual in that interim time frame. And so the donations, no matter how large or small, help us to use those in a discretionary fashion to meet the needs of the community.
We're talking with Marie Timpano from the Cornerstone of Beaver County. Got a couple minutes left, Marie. You did mention Home for the Holidays. How's that going, and how can people help out?
Home for the Holidays is our year-end campaign. It kicked off on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, on Giving Tuesday. You can go to our website, and there's a donate button there. It will talk about all the programs and services that we offer. You can follow us on Facebook. I also want to mention that, unfortunately, at this time of the year, we do what's called a homeless memorial, which is to recognize and honor lives that were lost while individuals were homeless or living on the streets. This year, it's my understanding that we have six individuals who are somebody's mother, father, son, daughter, brother, sister, who died while not in permanent housing in our community. Sad to say that, but we want to honor their lives. And on Wednesday, December the 21st at 5 o'clock at the BCTA building in Rochester, Dina and her committee, who have worked very hard, will have a ceremony there. And the public is welcome to be a part of that and to come to that, to honor those who died on the streets. And we make every effort to make that zero, right? And that's what the efforts of the Cornerstone and our partners is all about, and why this men's shelter is so critical and so important to the community. but you could be a part of that. Again, our end-of-year campaign, critical to raising dollars at this time of the year to allow us to provide emergency housing and other supports in a discretionary fashion to meet the needs of the community when they arise and they show up at our door. I want to thank WBVP for always being so willing, reaching out to the Cornerstone and saying, how can we educate and engage the public? This gives us an opportunity to reach out. I want to thank the community. Beaver County is tremendous, and our surrounding communities in supporting us and those in need in Beaver County. We were going to return that favor when we opened that shelter, but without your help and without your support, we could not do it. One more thing I want to mention is that we also are warming center during this time of year. If during the day you lose your heat, you need to come in, you're lonely, come on down. You can come down and be a part of things with us, and be warm and get some other supports and services. But, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Wishing you all a safe and happy and healthy holiday season. But I would ask that you take a peek at our site, stay with us on this journey, and consider a donation to our year-end campaign, Home for the Holidays. We would super appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll have links to the website and to phone numbers in case you want to contact the Cornerstone of Beaver County in order to get all of that done. And Marie, talk about education. I think that was a great, lesson for those who may not understand, what homelessness is all about, and learning what exactly they can do to help this time of year. I thank you once again for coming down this morning and talking about it with us, because it is a very important thing to remember this time of year about, those who are struggling. Thank you, Marie, for coming in this morning.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks to WBVP. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're listening to AM Beaver County. Teleform is around the corner following news. It's 8:57.
Wintertime is when performance matters the most.